gentlemen, welcome to this Sunday stream. Back in Car Mechanic, doing some more restorations with Watty. Good afternoon to Andrew, who is here bright and early. Good afternoon to Mr. Helgi, who has also resubscribed for 24 months of continued subscription. Thank you, Mr. Helgi, for your wonderful and continued support of the channel and me. Let's jump into game and see where we're at today. I have bought a Lamborghini from the car auction, and I'm going to be restoring that today. So here it is. Here's my Lamborghini. I don't know if it even runs. Doesn't run. So yeah, it's definitely a pile of crap. It cost me 63 grand though, so it wasn't a pile of crap price. But we're going to definitely go to work on this thing. Right. So let's take it all to bits. Start by taking all the bodywork off, because we will be repairing as much of that as we can. Ooh. Was there a fender? There's no fenders on the Lambo, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Now, before I did start streaming, I did see Mr. Helgi's post in the Discord about he encountered a bug with bodywork on a vehicle. Out of curiosity, Mr. Helgi, do you realise there are 2 body workshops in the game? So, if you couldn't find the parts you needed in one of the body workshops, did you look in the other one? Because that does catch you out a little bit. Sometimes they have body parts that are in a different shop, and you kind of got to hunt around for it. So there is a trunk. There is a trunk. Is there a little rear window? There is a little rear window. I thought the spoiler might come off, but apparently there's no spoiler on this. You found exactly that. Yeah. They don't tell you these things. Right. How is the interior parts? Probably could do with being rejiggered. We'll take them out. Right, now I do believe I've already inspected most of this when I was at the auction. Getting all the bits, buying the car. So obviously I need to try and get quite a bit of money back. Having spent like 63 grand on this car, my ability to make profit is seriously reduced compared to the cars that I normally pick up for about 6 grand. Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit harder to make loads of money off, but I'm hoping as a Lamborghini it will still have plenty of buyers interested in it when I come to sell it. Yeah, basically I'm just going to strip it down to the body, just take everything out, see what I can repair, and then basically if I can't repair something then I'll buy a new one. and we'll try and get this thing back up and running as best we can. I'm going to take... Oh, see, some of this stuff's a bit annoying, because some of this stuff you can't remove from the car. Some of it's only available from the engine bay. I don't even know if it's got an engine. Yeah, I think it has. I think I bought a Lambo with an engine. Take the brake disc off. Wheel hub. So there's been quite a few more patches released. I think there was one, they released a patch late last night, didn't they, for the game? Patch 1.04 or something. They're working hard, these boys and girls at Red Dot. Maybe we can chat via the Discord. Yeah, certainly, Mr. Howdy. I could put the Discord on. Yeah. I'm just checking this a bit. Take that bit off there. Can't do yet because I've got an outer tie rod. Got the outer inner tie rod. Got the upper suspension arm. I'll go get all the bushes. Take that bit off of there. Right. Quickly, Mr. Helgi Discord. Let's have a look. Where is he? There he is. He's in that channel there. There we are.
Hello.
There's Mr. Helgi.
Yeah, I found that really hard. I didn't expect the body parts are special body parts. That's also new compared to the old version.
Yeah, there's performance bodywork designed to give you performance boost to the car. That comes in. That comes in later on in the story missions where you have to increase a car's performance. They give you, like, the job will be you have to increase the performance between 10 and 15%, and then you've got to put parts on it to increase its performance.
Yeah, I did one of these quests or side quests, whatever. Not the main quest, but the side contracts where there was the BMW or FMW in the vanilla game, and it said it's a performance BMW, so I should have noticed because it told me. And there's a little icon also in the item, a little info box or something. Yeah, it's interesting. Just makes it more complicated to find the part. But I also learned that there are no brakes, no performance brakes, which is unusual.
Yeah, no performance brakes, yet you can increase the horsepower on a vehicle massively. As I found the other night with that Clio when I increased its performance by 90.3%. I then had no way of stopping it. It was travelled that fast, the brakes were useless.
I mean, in real life, the first thing you do is some electronic tuning, which is usually just changing a chip, and then the second is brakes. Maybe support, where you do something on the engine, which is usually expensive.
Little bearings. Take the brake disc off, of course, that helps. I quite like these Lamborghinis, they don't seem to have as much to them as some of the other cars. They don't seem to have all the flipping suspension bits and bobs. They're a lot easier to take to bits, these cars.
But it's in the normal game, right? It's not a mod.
No, it's normal game Lamborghini. I bought it from the car auction. There's 2 car auctions that you can go to, and I bought it from. I think which one I bought it from.
I thought when you mentioned Lambo, it's the Lambo tractor of Clarkson Farm.
It's just Lamborghini cars. They've always been in the game. Do you have a starter that I need to take off? Probably, yes. Now can I take the gearbox off while I'm here? I can. Yes.
Yeah, these starters sometimes can only dismantle from bottom or from top.
Yeah, it's always the opposite of where the car is positioned.
Yes.
You'll have it up on the jack and it'll tell you, oh, this needs to be removed from the engine bay, so you've got to lower it down to take it out again. And then you've got to lift it up to get the gearbox off. Or you'll have it lowered down and it'll tell you, oh no, you can only access this from the ramp. I'm going to take the ECU out. What's that? That's the fuse box. Going to take that out as well. All the relays. I'm not going to put hundreds of performance parts on this. Just do the basics, I think. Spark plugs, ignition thingies, air filter. Give it a little bit.
Yeah,
of
the
a
more I
boost.
play this game, I'm getting used to the controller, and it is definitely much quicker with the controller. Assemble, disassemble. And
Right, need to drain that.
oh man, I mixed up the wheels. Yeah.
And mix up the wheels, different sizes, front and rear.
Yeah, I have it set to have.
Again, the
different
number of
sizes
times
on front and back.
The number of times I've made a point of checking the tyres for that very reason, and it's like, no, all the tyres were the same size. I was like, fair enough. And then the one time I didn't check, I just slapped them back on the car. They were different sizes, weren't they? So I was like,
When you look at the wheel, they don't tell you the size. But if you look at the wheel and put it into the basket, to the shopping list, then it tells you the size.
it should tell you in the inventory.
Yes, if you have it dismantled, but if you don't, it doesn't.
No, it tells you. 335 by 35R
Yes,
by 17. That tells
Like
me
I
there.
said,
Assembled.
only if you have it disassembled.
That's not disassembled. That's assembled.
You have removed it from the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
they're too
if you
full.
don't, if you have it installed in the car, and you want to check what size is it on the car, you don't know.
You've got to take it off the car
Don't see.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, or you can put it in your shopping list, like I said, without disassembling, and then it tells you what size it is without disassembling.
Generally speaking, what I get in the habit of doing now is when I go to fit the tyre on the car, I just check all 4 of them before I select one to fit, because then it gives you the sizes. Generally speaking, the big tyres go on the back,
Right.
and the smaller tyres go on the front.
In my
Oh.
case,
I've got an
in my
engine.
case, I have the I had big tires on the right and and the front tires on the left. And the small tires on the left side. So that took me a while.
Radio. Right, let me go get my engine thingy. This part of the game's a bit weird, I have to admit. This bit probably needs a bit of a rejigger by the developers.
Which bit?
This engine crane, the fact that you have to take the engine out of the crane, which I can't do because apparently it's still got oil in it. Because I've seen a couple of people comment about this and saying it's not great.
Is it different to the way before?
Yeah, it's certainly a different to Car Mechanic Simulator 18. Because originally the engine tool in Car Mechanic 18 was a bit like this, but combined. The engine stand and engine crane were kind of combined together.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
I'm sure they were.
No, you had a disassembled crane and you have a mount for refurbishing the motor. It was always the case.
Yeah, but what you could do in Car Mechanic 18 was you could take the engine out of the car completely without using the crane. You could completely disassemble the engine in the car, go over to the stand and assemble it on the stand. In this game you can't. Unless you've taken the engine out of the car with the crane, you can't put the engine on the stand.
Not so sure. I think you always had to use the crane. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I'm taking the belt tensioner off. Watty the Restorer. Yes, Watty the Restorer. Lamborghini Restore today. That's what we're doing. Make it all nice and new and fancy. Might even paint some parts and put all nicely coloured parts on it. Now I can paint individual bits in my paint shop. I think I can even put liveries on things now as well. Thermostat. I think I'm on version 1.04, which is the latest update that came out yesterday. No doubt since I've started playing today they've probably released another patch, which I won't get until this evening, until after I log out again, because that's always seems to be the case with the updates. As soon as I log out of the game, oh, there's an update to install. Would have been nice if it was there before I started playing. Take the oil pan off because I know that's got to come off for me to get to me crank bearings and rod caps and everything. Some more exhaust manifolds. What did the patch fix? Don't know. I didn't read the patch notes. There was only 2 or 3 lines in it. It wasn't a massive long list of fixes. 1.04. 1.03 didn't really fix a great deal from what I understand. There's the fuel rail. Definitely going to probably put on a fancy one of those. Ignition coils. V12. I think this might be the first V12 I've worked on so far in the game. I don't think I've had any others yet. Certainly haven't had any from customer orders.
Big engine, yeah. Do you want to make it a performance update?
No, because I've already paid 63 grand for the car, so I really want to try and restore this one as cheap as possible. I might chuck a couple of little performance bits on it, but I'm not going to go all out like I did on the Renault Clio, because otherwise I won't make profit. It's going to be tough to make profit on this anyway, having spent 63 grand. But when I went to the auction, it was the only car that wasn't boring. You know, all the other cars were like normal road cars, and I was like, yeah, I've repaired plenty of those in the missions thus far. So I was like, Lamborghini, yeah, that's different. That's something a bit different. I took all these stupid little camshaft clips off. Do I have the part fixer machine? Yeah, I've got all the machines. I've got everything unlocked and bought. All the workshop upgrades are done at this point. For me, I have nothing left to buy in that department. I've also now maxed out my restoration perk tree and also my cost reduction perk tree. So any perk points I get now from leveling up will go on screwing speed and mounting speed upgrades, just to see if that brings the efficiency a bit.
This main mission car has no front right wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The young guy went into the cactuses and so on.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think what car I did yesterday whilst I was watching the football. But this guy brought this car in, and he literally wanted the whole thing rebuilding. And then he had the nerve in his email to say, "Oh, I don't want you to charge me too much." I'm like, well, perhaps don't buy a car that needs to be completely rebuilt then. You'd have been better off scrapping it and buying a new car. So obviously in that mission I had to repair as much of the parts as I could to keep the cost down. Otherwise I would have rebuilt the car and ended up losing money, because he had a fixed price of what he was going to pay me. I think what my next story I think it's a Vauxhall Opal. I think that's my next story mission. Not a Vauxhall Opal, an Opel Corsa, or Vauxhall Corsa as we in the UK call them. But obviously somebody's decided to call it Opal, because that's what they're called.
Well, a
on
Vauxhall is a Vauxhall is an Opel. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why they in the UK call them Vauxhall.
Because they're made in the Vauxhall factory. down in Northampton.
So it was originally a Vauxhall factory and bought by Opel or something?
Probably. I'll probably end up going into those text files myself and renaming them all to Vauxhall just for myself.
The Opels?
Yeah.
But they are Opels.
Yeah,
They're
but
from Germany.
I'm going to rename them
For
Vauxhall.
you, it's easier.
I must admit, I do like the real name fix.
Yeah.
Much better to have the cars named their proper names now. Be nice if they could get the logo.
I thought that this messed up. I thought that the name change messed up the parts. That's why I couldn't find them. But it was not the case. It's my fault for focus. So the parts in this computer is always on the top left. Obviously. The parts I need parts from are listed on the top left, obviously.
I don't want to build the engine. I need to rotate it because I need to take the bits off the bottom. Rotate it back one because then I can get the pistons out at the same time. Rod caps. 500 of these.
Oops. Mistake. Press the wrong button again.
Wrong button.
Yeah, the Y button to go back. But if you're in the shopping list...
You delete your items off your shopping list. Yeah. That needs a rebind. For controller users, because that is frustrating as hell. Trying to go back and you hit the Y button and then you delete the item off your shopping list and you're like, oh, what item was it? I can't remember.
Then you go back into your inventory and click it again.
So then you go around the car clicking on everything on the car again, and then you come to your shopping list and you've got several items now where it wants you to buy 2 of. Because you've duplicated everything. Ah, this thing's got tons of pistons.
So one is tires. And there's another one for these, what's it called, where the tires put on?
The rims?
Or rims.
And you've got your performance gearbox shop where you can get your gearbox upgrade, your custom gearboxes which allow you to do the gearbox tuning and alter the gear ratios.
This is pretty good. That's definitely
Once you've got the dyno
an
on that.
improvement. That's definitely an improvement. What taking me a little bit to get used to, but
Just ordinary pistons with ordinary conrods. Ordinary piston rings. I've got some fancy piston rings in my inventory. I don't know what they're for. I don't know what car I'm supposed to use them on.
I think your crankshaft needs to be replaced as well. Or repaired.
Good thing is, most of the stuff I've been taking off this car looks like it's repairable. I haven't had any stuff come off the car.
When balancing, I'm just balancing a wheel. The controller has vibration.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Battery on charge. Separate the parts. We'll also see later on if I keep doing the same thing every single time that I do every single time when using this spring puller, where I leave one of them on it.
Yeah, forget to take it off.
I start putting the car back together and I forget that I've left the thing on it because I forget that I have to manually take it off all the time. I do the same with the tyres as well.
sure that somebody will also fix these minigames, that there will be a mod that you don't have to click all the shit.
I don't know about that, because I was looking on the workshop section of the forum, yeah, the games forum, and they've actually put some posts in the work on what mods they're going to allow this time round, what they're going to allow people to make mods for, and there's a lot more stricter rules this year of what they're going to allow to be posted for the game on the workshop. So things that change the gameplay, change the economy, make things, you know, change game mechanics, they're all not allowed this time round.
Yeah, but people will complain, and then they have an option in the game, whatever. I mean, if you did it 1,000 times, then maybe it will allow you to just skip it with a skill or whatever. Not right from the beginning, but eventually.
While I'm here, let me do my welding.
There was a...
Why do I have to pay 500 credits to weld my own car? I don't understand that logic. My welder is my car. Why am I billing myself?
It's just the parts that you use, all the welding rods.
I can't find where the power steering fluid is. It goes in the power steering reservoir, Andrew. It should be mounted somewhere on the front of the car.
It's usually the black...
It's usually the black tube thing. Next to the windscreen washer fluid and the coolant tank. Right, let me go do the brakes before I forget the brakes. Again, brakes are another thing that I generally leave on the machine. I get back to the car and I've only got 3. Alright, where's my brake discs? I had 4 a minute ago. End up leaving it on the machine. Professional brake station.
I bought the body part repair desk.
Yeah.
But I don't have the skill yet.
No, you've got to be level 6 to be able to do any body repair.
But I found that.
But you bought the desk, and that's like, oh, I did the same thing. I bought them. I thought I'm going to do all the repairing, because the repairing saves you no end of money, but you can't do it. You can't do body repair. So I ended up investing all that money in a desk.
Body parts are expensive.
Yeah, and obviously for me, something like the spray booth or the test track thing would have been much more useful at that point in the game than a repair bench that I couldn't use.
Yep.
Right. Bodywork. Can I repair any bodywork? I can repair the mirror. Repair the left door. Lamborghini Diablo.
Yeah, apart from having a minigame, but it's now much better to repair with your skill than with random.
Oh yeah, that random RNG in Car Mechanic 18 was annoying. You know, you'd start repairing a part, you'd have it up to about 98%, and then it would fail. And the next time you click the button, and you're like, what? At least now I feel like I'm in control of my own fate. You know, I can misclick and screw a part up, and that's my fault. But when it was RNG, I just felt that was just crap. So brake calipers I can repair and brake cylinders, but brake pads I cannot. That's the thing I always get confused by. Beep beep. I have a Miata sitting in my garage and it won't start. Lots of problems. Take it all to bits. If need be, take the whole thing to bits. And that'll identify all the problem parts. The great thing is you earn experience for every single part you take off a car. So although it will take you longer, you will actually benefit from it. I broke the wheel. Misclicked. By a wheel rim, I think. Let's try and repair as much of the car as we can, and then I've got fewer parts to actually have to buy.
Have you tried to use the spray booth yet?
Yes, I've used the spray booth.
Because in the previous game I usually had the problem using the original paint of the car. Didn't work, actually. So if you now put parts on it, like the replacement parts are black and the original car was blue.
You can, in the paint booth, you can select an option to restore it to factory colour. You can select factory, which then paints it all back to what it should have been. So all the new parts, which like you say are black, will get painted back to blue then. Or whatever colour you want to put on them. But I like the fact you can actually paint individual parts now. So like I could paint the fuel pump a different colour. I could paint the brake discs their own colour. I'm not sure if I can paint wheel rims, but I might have a go. I can paint the brake calipers.
Yeah. Why is the number of the license plate in the new one is different to the back one?
That's what happens when you buy a blank license plate and
yes,
fit it on a part of the car which didn't have a license plate to take off. Like sometimes when they bring up
it was a new part, it was a damaged car and it was a new part.
Yeah, because they probably didn't have a license plate there for you to take off, did they? It was probably missing the front license plate when you brought it in.
No, everything was missing. Yeah, but the question is, can you enter this?
You can, but you have to do it as a custom. You have to buy a custom plate, and you have to enter the license number yourself, and they cost way more money than a blank one. So if you're trying to be a perfectionist,
he had a blank. Yeah, he had a blank one on it, and I don't give a shit.
So if you're trying to match the front and rear numbers together, it can get very expensive to do that. I typically don't bother. If the front
says I have a part. What do you mean, part not found?
it only tells you what's missing.
It says part not found. 2 parts with this contract. I had wheels, I had an oil. Cool. Need to do an analysis, I think.
I tried to return a customer's car last night, and when I went to click return, it said to me, "You can't finish this order because you're missing a rubber bushing." And I was like, "Okay, I've missed one of the little rubber bushes. I best go and have a look to see where that is." And when I went to the back of the car to have a look, I actually had missed half of the suspension. It wasn't just one rubber bushing that was missing. I was like missing half the rest of the suspension as well. I was like, damn.
But it was clear that the rubber bushing was definitely missing.
Yeah. But until I put that rubber bushing in, it wouldn't have let me put any of the rest of the suspension on, which is probably why I didn't see it and why I missed it. And again, that's kind of one of the little improvements I would like to see the makers do with the game. Some of the parts that you put on the car, like some of the suspension parts, when you come to fit those on the car, it also asks you to put the bushings in. It comes up on the screen and you have to select the bushes, and it puts the bushes in before it puts the bit on the car. And then on other suspension parts, it doesn't do that, and I wish it would do that on the whole thing. Same way as when you take suspension parts off, I wish it would automatically remove the bushes rather than making you go around and clip the four corners. Are all these parts off this Lamborghini? It seems to have an awful lot of parts.
I like these air filters with the screws instead of the clips.
Yes. I don't like the clips. I don't like the clips. Because it makes you click on each and every single one. It's a bit like the push rods in those funny engines that have the push rods. You have to click on every single rod to install them. I think they should just be grouped together, so one click, you put them all in. The good thing is, it seems like this Lamborghini, although it didn't run when it was delivered to me, does look like it was pretty complete. It didn't have any missing parts. They were just wrecked, so I might not have to buy many parts to put on this thing, which could be very good.
Yay! Contract. And I got a kit chest, new chest.
I might go and do a chrome-plated engine in this car. I might chrome plate the whole of the engine block.
Let's see what I can repair. Oh, this stuff. Oops. Oops. Come on. I cannot. The rims, I cannot repair it.
You need more perk levels. More perk levels required. Oh man, there was a lot of parts on this Lambo. But thankfully I seem to be able to repair them all.
So exactly, these blue points that you get for the scrap
Yeah.
action, what are they good for? What do you do with these?
You increase the value of parts. You can upgrade parts and make them better value.
For the cars, you
For
mean?
the cars, yeah. Which obviously is great for when you are then reselling vehicles, because it makes them worth more money if you've got higher level parts on them. And that's what I did on the Clio. I upgraded all the parts to level 3. Every single thing that went on that car was a level 3 part.
And how do you upgrade? In your inventory? Or?
It's at the same repair bench. You do it on the other tab. You do it on the other tab. So if
the normal repair bench.
No, on the one where you do the scrapping. If you go to the scrap place, where you can scrap the parts.
Okay. See, yes.
Now you get to do the upgrades of stuff.
And make a brake upgrade. Okay. Is it a 1-star brake now?
Yeah, 1-star brake. I'm going to upgrade the whole of the main engine block, I think.
It increases the price of the brake from 20 to 21 credits.
Yeah. Two i14 gearboxes, what are they off? I don't know. Power steering pump, that goes on the engine. The oil pan goes on the engine. I'm not going to worry about rod caps. Yeah, some of the cars that get brought into you for some of these customer orders, they are rubbish. Like Andrew says, you look at the car and you think it's not even worth repairing. The customer would have been better off taking it to their local garage and having it scrapped under the government scrappage scheme and getting the extra cash to put towards a new car. Must have quite a few broken bits then, because there hasn't been as much to upgrade as I thought.
Tesla Roadster. You know there's a Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
See, Tesla is making advertisement in this game.
Camshafts. I'll upgrade the camshafts.
Need to change the oil in the Tesla.
The bit I find funny about the Teslas is you can repair the battery modules on them. I find that funny. In the game, you can take the batteries off and whack them up with a hammer on your bench to make them as good as new.
This cooler is a little bit damaged.
I think that's a little bit of an unrealistic thing. Also, another thing I find a little bit funny about some of these customer order jobs in the game is you go to start the car up to move it to put on your test track thing, and the car won't start. So I'm thinking to myself, how did the customer even bring it to the garage if it didn't start? They weren't able to drive it. How did they get it to the garage? Right. I haven't been able to repair any piston rings.
Ooh.
Have Have I got anything on my shopping list? No. Before I go into the shopping list, make sure my shopping list is empty.
So if you remove any of the cables because they're damaged, then it says, no, you have to empty the electric power before you do that. Huh? Unless all the ions are flowing on the floor.
Don't spill stuff on the floor. It gets very expensive.
Spills all the current on the floor.
Apparently I couldn't repair camshaft clips. Have all new ones of them then. Spark plugs, gonna need a few of them. Probably gonna put the performance ones in, I think. Same with the ignition coils. I'll use performance ones of those. Fuel filter, I can get a performance one of those. Air filter, I will get a performance air filter. I'll get a new coolant reservoir. Power steering reservoir and windshield washer reservoir. ECU, right, flywheel, clutch pressure plate, clutch release bearing, rear muffler, rubber bushings I think I'm okay for, but yeah, rear shock absorbers, we're going to need those. Wheel hub bearing, brake pads, probably going to need 4 brake pads, sport tyre. Probably get a new fuel tank. Sport tyre, inner tie rod, outer tie rod, front sway bar, front shock absorbers. Bearing, wheel hub cap, sport tyre, then I'm going to need steering wheel, seats, rear window, tail light, body window, body door window, windshield, license plate. I'll put new license plates on, I think. Right, so let me go buy all my stuff. $12 spark plugs, please. $12 ignition coils, please. Fancy fuel filter. Yep. No fancy oil filters. There is a fancy air filter. We'll have that. Don't press the wrong button. Diablo. Alright, let's do some body work. No. No windshields. No tail light. Interior shop. No, back. Interior shop. That's a steering wheel ball. 2 leather seats. Piston rings. How many of those did I need? 12. 12 piston rings. Or 12 pistons, I'm guessing. Uh, 20 camshaft caps. A lot. 4 cam gears. 2 timing shoes. 1 serpentine belt.
What?
2 water pump pulleys.
So in order to change the cables on a Tesla in the back, you have to crawl into the front and go back. Interesting. You have to crawl through the whole motor, the whole car.
Right, they're all going to be in the performance section. In the electric section, should I say, not performance section. Need 2 of them. 2 of them. 2 of them. 4 of them. Fuel tank. Inner tie rods times 2. Outer tie rods times 2. Front sway bar. Front shock absorber caps. Front springs.
So the vans is also something new that they have.
Yeah, you got vans. I had one which looked like a DHL van yesterday to repair.
The GMC Vendura. They call it Bolt.
Right, I need the electric shop now. Medium fuse times 3. Medium fuse times 3. Relay times 3. Relay times 2. ECU type B. And now I need some tyres and some body work. Right, tyres are going to be in here. And I need 17-inch 335 35s. It doesn't go up to 335. And it goes up to 325. Okay, that's a bit strange. Can't get them the same size. $245 40R17. Wow, they are really skinny front tyres. Right, now I need some body work. Clear the shopping list. That's it. Should have every part needed now. Put this thing back together. All my rims are the same size.
Oh. Somebody heard.
Don't think I ordered enough tyres.
These are wide. These are pretty wide tires. Hey, hey, hey.
Don't think I ordered. I'm one short. I think I'm short on the front one. Yeah. So 17, 245, 45. That's all my wheels put back together. Now I can go build the engine. Oh no, I need to balance them all, don't I? It's funny how the controller only vibrates during the wheel balancing part of the game. Yes, they don't use vibration anywhere else, do they?
Nope.
They don't use it when you're driving the car at any point. Right. Now, before we start assembling the engine, let's go paint some bits. Right, what are we going to paint first of all? Let's think. Engine block, right. A black chrome it? Oh, I've painted the engine block. I didn't think about painting the wheel rims. I should have done that before I put the tyres on.
So is there a point in the game where you eventually can repair a gearbox?
Yes, you can repair gearboxes when you have the right level.
Okay. That's also very expensive.
So that's why when you go to barns and junkyards, if you can find like gearboxes and stuff, nab them. Absolutely grab them. Because then you can repair them and sell them for lots of profit.
Right. No, I haven't yet been to a barn or a scrapyard. I have some money before I do that.
I'm going to build the fanciest looking engine in the world. I hope the customer that buys this appreciates all the effort that I put into it. Could spray individual parts different colour. What? Oh yeah, we want to spray the oil pan. Oh yeah, sprayed the oil filter red. Woohoo! I'm going to make people think these are performance parts even though they're not performance parts.
Well, the oil filter is definitely not a performance part.
Let me start her a different colour.
The scrapyard costs money to go there, or?
Yeah, you have to pay to travel there.
And when you go to some barn, can you go back to the same barn, or is it gone?
It's random which barns you go to. It rotates through them because obviously they restock each time you leave.
But you don't lose them. Yeah?
You don't lose them. No,
When you
you
have
can
5
revisit
barns,
them.
then later you have 4 barns, 3 barns. No.
Yeah, you never lose them. You can go back and revisit them any time, but it's random as to which one you'll go back and revisit. That needs to be chromed.
It's kind of the wrong way around.
The wrong way round?
Yeah, it has the tank and the fuel pump in front, and the cooler and the motor in the back. It's a Renault Clio or something.
Rear engine drive, yeah. That must be are you doing the story mission? Because that's probably the one that I did yesterday.
I'm in the barn. Barn find. Pretty much everything. Barn.
Painting some parts.
The Renault Clio, yeah. 246,000 kilometers.
How expensive is it if you were going to buy it? Does it give you the price?
He wants 22,600 for it. It's a V6 engine.
You can make good money from a Clio, as I did. So 22,000, although it's a little bit more than what I paid for mine, it's good value. You could make a lot of profit from that if you've got the money, and you're able to buy it, and you're able to pay for the bits to restore it, which is where I kind of kept going wrong.
I have 30,700. That's not enough.
Right, painted some bits. Let's start whacking the old engine together. Let's start whacking this engine together. My lovely Diablo.
I found a gearbox. A V6 gearbox. Maybe it is even one for the Clio.
Beautiful. Oh, my oil filter, that's going to be nice and red. Oh. Put my pistons and
You
my com.
take all the parts behind in the barn.
Oh yeah, definitely I take all the parts from the barn and the junkyard because, like I say, I repair as many as I can and then sell them to make lots of money. The ones I can't repair, I just salvage then for the blue upgrades, the blue upgrade points.
Yeah.
Andrew's back and he's got his blackberries. He's been blackberry picking.
I usually go in a store and buy them.
Thing is, if he's picked 150 blackberries, how many though did he eat whilst he was picking them? Because generally speaking, if you've picked 150, you've probably eaten 150 at the same time. Or at least I used to do that.
You can call him Mr. Blue Turn now.
It's like strawberry picking as well. I used to be terrible at that because I'd eat just as many as I picked.
There's a lot of junk in here in this farm. I'm surprised.
Andrew didn't eat any because he has to wash them. See, children today are from a different generation. Yeah, different generation.
I mean, I still go in the woods, and when we walk, we pick the blackberries.
You know, back when I was a kid, we played in dirt and we ate dirt, so nothing harmed us. You know.
Could be, yeah.
Put the old I love this, putting it back together. It's going back together. See if I'm missing any bits then. Like I said, I don't think I was missing any bits. I think this car had literally all the bits with it.
A Chevy Camaro for 15,400.
That's not bad.
I can put it there and eventually make it better.
There's a good clutch plate there, look.
All the parts, it was 20,000 spent.
There's my alternator, which I have not painted my alternator. I need to probably paint the alternator if it'll let me. Don't think it gave me an option to paint that though. I'll have to double check. I didn't get to paint the camshafts either. I'm going to put the fancy spark plugs in, because that'll do the performance nicely, especially 12 of them. So yeah, I've gone for a nice chrome and red colour scheme on this engine. So I've painted what I can. It'll look nice when they pop the hood on the Lambo. So see how much it fetches. Head cover back on. Nice chrome. Ignition coils. Oh, look at them. Lovely. Yeah, nice performance ones. Might spin the engine over in a second to make it a little bit easier to work on. I've spilled oil all over my nice new floor. Camshaft. Spark plugs. Got performance ones of those. They raise performance by 0.13% each. So I'm getting just over 160. I'm getting like 1.6 performance boost by putting on these spark plugs. Don't know what advantage that makes to the whole car. I think I chrome the exhaust because the exhausts are already chrome. Need to do all the timing covers next. Do all that work on the front. Do the ignition coils.
Surprise. After washing, this Camaro looks pretty good.
How come I've only got... was missing an ignition coil. I've got 5 on one side and 4 on another. That's like, where's my ignition coil gone? Climbing shoes. Didn't put any fancy ones of those on. Did do nice chrome timing covers though. Did a chrome water pump, didn't I? Yes. Alternator. I don't think I can paint the alternator. That will go on as it is. Water pump poly. I might be able to paint the thermostat, so let's not be in a rush to mount that. Those manifolds, put them on. There's 2 throttles on this car. I have to say that engine is looking absolutely beautiful. Let's see if I can paint the thermostat then. Give that a nice chrome touch. Might do that red actually, if it'll let me. Thermostat. No, can't paint the thermostat. Darn. I was hoping we'd get be able to upgrade that. Right, that's my engine, fully reassembled, fully repaired. We'll take that off the engine stand and now we'll put it on the engine crane because, you know, got to faff about like this. Job done. Right, what else can we put back together now while we're here? Air filter base. Yes. air filter. I'm going to use my performance filter. Silly little clips back on. I should have bought a air filter cover that had screws. The battery, I think, is still on charge at the minute, so I can't do anything with the battery. I can do the ABS pump and ABS. Where was the Oh, it's in the front, isn't it? The ECU. There's my fuse box. Washer reservoir. There's my radiator. My brake servo. To put all my relays and fuses in. Thinking I've put everything back that I can. How much is the car worth now? If I was to sell the car now in its current condition, with no wheels, no suspension, no doors, no seats or anything, I still make 12 grand.
Not bad.
Maybe I ought to put the rest of the bits in it. Right, we're going to go for a fuel tank, are we? Yes, let's put a fuel tank in. Oh, I know why I had 2 fuel tanks in my inventory. Because there's 2 fuel tanks on this car. That means I'm also going to need another fuel filter. Or fuel pump. Yeah, we'll use the good performance fuel pumps on this. We will. Rear muffler. I always laugh when I hear the word muffler.
Why?
Because it reminds me of being a kid playing Super Hang-On the old Sega Mega Drive, which was a motorbike racing game, and all the time you could guarantee your muffler would fall off before the end of the race. Your muffler has fallen off. Your muffler has fallen off. And I'd be like, what the heck's a muffler?
Some weird animal.
Right, apparently I'm missing, obviously, the gearbox. There's my lovely red gearbox that I've painted, look. Because this, of course, is a Lamborghini Diablo, so I'm thinking the paint scheme for the car should be black and red, not yellow. It should look a little bit devilish, I think.
Painted red to make it quicker.
Have I got any? I haven't got any. I've got red calipers. I know I've got red calipers. They are sick. Make sure I put the right size tyres on the car. Oh, that's a car now. Look at that.
These are only the front tires.
Oh yeah, only the front one so far. Brake pads. Then my lovely red calipers. Got another. No, this is the rear of the car, isn't it? I put the wrong wheel on. That one's got to come off. Yeah, it's got to be a 325 on the back. So all the sway bars and stuff must all be at the front. Weird. Right, medium intercooler. Sway bar. Steering knuckles. I much prefer this because it doesn't have those silly cross members. This car has gone together a lot easier. Suspension wise, it's a lot simpler than some of the basic cars in the game. Okay, the engine was a little bit more complicated being a V12, but I doubt this thing's going to tell me there's rubber bushes missing. Once I've finished. Nice red caliper. mustn't forget to put the starter back on as well, of course. Don't think I've equipped that to the gearbox. And I've got to refill all the fluids. Wheel hub, wheel bearing, very important, wheel hub cap, an eye disc, big pad, caliper, last red one, my modern rim. Some back of the car. Need to put me no, I've put the starter on. I've put the starter on. Oh, I've already done that. Right then, let's lower this down. I need to get the battery. I think that goes in the back. Goes right here. Right.
Interesting. The parts, brake parts, and everything was uninstalled on the Camaro can be repaired, which is great. I mean, if you have most of the parts, it doesn't. It's not that expensive to repair it.
No, the more parts that the car comes with, the cheaper it is to restore it if you've got the repair skill. That's what allows you to make the big profit.
Yeah, I can repair the gearbox, which is a big plus.
What else am I filling on this?
Yeah, after we discussed it, I invested all my experience points, skill points into repair skill, and that is really paying out.
I haven't seen... Oh, there's the brake servo. Now just for the engine oil, I think. Right, that should fire up. Let's test it.
Looks great.
Okay, that all worked. all good. Lot to scan on this car. Right, I think I need to put this. Oh, I need to put all the bodywork back in, don't I? Would help if I had some seats. Right. Let's move the car. We give it a wash before I paint it. I'm guessing it starts now. Sounds awesome. Right, paint booth. Right, we've got black body. Da, da, da. Right, we'll be back. It wouldn't let me paint parts whilst the car's parked in here. That is flipping stupid. I'm going to be chameleon red. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Have I got dodgy headlights there? That looked like it was covered in bloody rust. For some reason I don't appear to have any headlights. Can I not buy new headlights? Right, the doors I'm going to paint black. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into the headlight situation, find out why I've got no headlights. Pretty sure I bought them. Front left door, front left window, side mirror, windshield, front bumper, yeah, I need some headlights. Why have I not got headlights? I'm also going to need 2 new number plates. Did I get bumper? No, I just got ordinary. I just got ordinary headlights. I didn't go for fancy ones, did I? Right, we need to paint those now. Put the headlights on, then we can let me out. Then we can this Lambo looks sick now. That looks awesome. at that. Everything's mint. Line the wheels. And I want to tow the rear ones in a little bit, I think. That'll do. Headlights are aligned. Profit 97 grand. It's worth 165,000 at the moment. This car. Let's put it on the dyno. See if we can't get its price up a little bit more. Improvement, so 71 horsepower gain more. %, so that is now worth, yeah, still the same, 165. I bought it for 68, so just under 100 grand profit. Let's take it to the speed track. See how fast we can go. Bearing in mind it's just got the What a car. What a car. Nuts. some Dakotas over here, look, some DC-30s.
This is the plane mechanic simulator.
Plane mechanic simulator, yeah. It's the new add-on for that.
Repair the A320 by yourself.
That car is amazing. Oh, it's worth 108,000 profit now, look. It's gone up in price. I've took it to the test track, thrashed it round the test track, and now it's worth more money.
You've proven how good the car is.
108,000 profit. Keep it. The trouble is, I've only got 158,000 left. I can't really afford to keep it. Sick car, bro. Well, what a build that has been. Oh no, I still haven't finished it technically, because I'm missing license plates. Still haven't put any license plates on it. What license plate should I put on the Lamborghini?
The license plates for the new buyer or the new owner. Whoever buys.
Well, Lamborghinis are made in Italy, so we'll have 2 of them. Give it custom plates. The first proper car restoration. Oh, it doesn't have one on the front. Just the one on the rear.
The Watty.
Take one last look at it, people. It's about to be sold. Cha-ching! 333 grand back in the bank account. I do like that. Right, let's go and have a look at the car auctions then.